With this energy, I see the image of someone up on a stage, like some kind of performance, but like they look like they're frozen, like they can't talk, like having some kind of stage fright. So I think this message is for someone who's having some form of performance anxiety. So we're gonna get into what situation this applies to and what spirit would like you to know. So if that interests you, feel free to stick around. All right. On the board here, we've got Strength, the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the Magician, and the Knight of Cups. So I think that there's some performance anxiety that they're giving me. This can apply one of two ways, or maybe both. But either way, this is a situation that you have specifically called in because it's something that you want. And I think for some people, this is kind of like a passion project following your heart in that sort of sense. And I think for some people, this may have to do with some kind of relationship, partnership. Because I think that whatever you called in is represented by this Queen of Pentacles that is showing up over the Magician. And so whether that's like a specific person who's, very nurturing, very much feels like home kind of energy, or if it's simply like a situation that you are building for yourself as far as sustainable future and that sort of thing. Um, I think that with this King of Swords over the Knight of Cups, it is whatever this energy is to you. I think maintaining it properly is something that requires this marriage of head and heart. You have to be very honest, very strategic, but you also still have to be working from a heart space. You have to be emotionally open, which is why I would say this is either like a love thing or like a passion project thing. Um, and I think that with this strength and the Nine of Cups here, I think that like you've put a lot of work into like yourself and like learning to manage your own emotions and learning to, I think, like coexist with the parts of you that you used to feel scared or threatened by, and also like exist in, I think, sometimes a more isolated state. And I think that whatever this is, again, whether it's a relationship or a new venture, a new project, it's something that's going to require you to put more of yourself out there. Whether that's, again, sharing your art, engaging with other people in this field, or whether that's being emotionally vulnerable with a partner. It's like almost asking you to expand on this growth that you've experienced internally within yourself. And apparently that's generating a bit of performance anxiety. So I'd like to know, like, why? Like, why is it different with other people? Why is it different in this situation, besides the fact that you just obviously, I think, care a whole lot about whatever this is? All right, we got the Fool, the Six of Swords, the Eight of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Sun, and the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm getting like a lot of things all at once. This feels like It's like, why does this make me anxious? Well, here's an itemized list. First item on the list is it's a new thing. It's a new thing for you. I think that like that's valid, but like Spirit does want me to point out that it was also at one point a new thing for you to be like finding that balance within yourself, like coexisting with yourself, like even sharing yourself with yourself, being honest with yourself about who you are. Like that used to be a new thing to you too. But, now it's kind of old hat. I think the other anxiety here is I think a lot of difficulty putting trust in other people. Because we got the Six of Swords over the Sun and the Eight of Cups over the Three of Pentacles. And it's kind of giving to me almost this like fear of abandonment. Because like the Six of Swords is all about like transition, moving away, leaving things behind. And the Eight of Cups is all about emotional detachment, again, moving away from energy and being a bit like disillusioned by it. And so I think that there's this fear that, you're going to embark on this new journey, and the fear of success is almost as potent as the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, because, like what happens if you get to this Sun card, this success, this positivity, this happiness, and then someone else decides that they're moving on. What happens if you get to this point of like feeling like you're really like part of something or part of a team, a project, something that's like real and sustainable and like mutually beneficial and connected. And then people wake up one day and are disillusioned with that, whether that's with the partnership, with your art, with, like whatever it is. There's, I think, this fear of sustainability. And like I'm hearing now, it's almost like looping back around to this Fool card. Like, yeah, I know that, I was a beginner with this stuff at one point, and I know that, I'll have to be a beginner if I start here, but like, I'm tired of starting over. I'm tired of starting over. And I think there's, there is this sense of feeling like I think you can't make the progress you want because every step forward, it's like someone else is taking two steps back. Um, or like raising the bar a little bit. And I think in the past there may have been a lot of things that felt good to you or that you wanted that you lost for reasons that were outside of your control. And so I think that there's also something here about like wanting to feel in control by feeling self-contained. Whether that's in your love, your passion, your creativity, feeling like you can't be abandoned or rejected if you are strong enough to do it all on your own, if you're strong enough to hold it all in. I'd like to know like what Spirit would say to this. Seven of Swords, Knight of Wands, the Empress, the Ace of Cups, Four of Swords, Two of Cups, Six of Wands. I think that you you've either been lying to yourself a little bit or to someone or something else about how much you want it. Because I'm seeing this Empress either representative of, like I said, relationship partner, potential partner, or the Empress is also known for her creative and abundant energy and being like a fertile source of growth and new ideas and things like that. So I think that like that's really representative of whatever it is that really matters to you. And with like the Seven of Swords coming out in between that and the Knight of Wands, it's almost like you have so much passion for this thing. You have so much passion for this energy. Um, but there's this block that I think is related to not being fully honest. Not being fully honest. And I think that there is a little bit of advice to sit with sit with the feelings that you're having and like the especially like the new feelings that are coming up as far as wanting to share this more, wanting to connect more. Like sit with those for a little while with this like Ace of Cups, Four of Swords. Um, because I think that like that's gonna it's gonna lead you where you want to go ultimately, because we have the Six of Wands and the Two of Cups here, and then Two of Cups is union, it's balance, it's reciprocal connection, whether that's connection with a specific person or something else. It's about the idea that you pour into whatever this cup is, and then it pours into you. And there's back and forth and sustainability to it. And the Six of Wands is, I mean, it's success, it's victory. And I think like that is what victory is to you. In this case, it's giving to whatever this is and having it give back. And I think that like that's kind of the opposite of what you're like really fearing here with pouring into something, getting both cups filled and then having someone clear it all off the table. This is something that is like genuinely fulfilling, and it's something that's genuinely sustainable. And they want me to point out that I think that whatever this is something that you have cared about on some level for a while. And they want me to ask you to think back and, consider the fact that like I think the times when you weren't as connected to this thing were the times when you chose not to be, as opposed to times that you were like genuinely abandoned. um I think that like whatever this is something that is like good for you and something that's like very healing and very nurturing, and it's meant to be balanced and it's meant to be yours is what I'm hearing, and it's meant to sustain you. And so you don't have to hold back so much of your energy, or I guess tell yourself that you don't feel the way that you do in order to hold back your energy. Like it's I don't know, it's like safe to go full steam ahead. Um but I think that it's fair that you have this anxiety about showing up, or that you feel like when you do show up you kind of freeze, or you don't really know how to move forward. And sometimes I think that may also mean that, you know, you need a little bit of extra time to process, especially with that Four of Swords, Ace of Cups. It's like they're acknowledging that like this is a big thing and this is a new thing. And sometimes, you know, that feeling of like, oh, I'm freezing up is your body's way of intuitively telling you like, hey, I need some more time to process this. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, I think you just need to be honest about what it is that you're doing and why. You know, it's not, oh, I'm freezing up here because this is horrible and not meant for me and destined for failure, when there's not necessarily evidence to support that conclusion. If you want to call the ramblings of a person reading cards on evidence, that's up to you. Take it how it resonates. But is there anything else that you need to know here? Two of Pentacles. Again, another card about balance. And if you look, this one actually has like an infinity sign on it. It's talking about like sustainable balance. Like this is something that could be like perpetuated infinitely. King of Wands. And you have the capacity to overcome anything else in your way. Yeah, the world. Like this is something that is meant to come full circle. It's something that's designed for you and to help you with your healing and your growth and your integration. Like it's part of your path, and something that I think is going to put you in greater harmony with the universe as well. And like being able to really see that. And I feel like there's a couple more. Ace of Swords, Four of Pentacles, and Six of Pentacles. This is stable. This is stable. It's more than stable. It's actually abundant. You know, it's like we're working from a baseline that is very grounded with this Four of Pentacles. It's not going anywhere. And I think like as you realize that and you're able to kind of let go of some of that anxiety and like feel like you have a little bit more clarity with this like Ace of Swords, I think that like that's going to allow it to move from a place of like already being stable to being something that is stable and also generous, and just gives to you and allows you to keep your cup full and keep your energy balanced. Very, very heavy confirmation on, I think, this being a positive thing for you. So I hope that that helps to hear, and you're exactly where you need to be. You're exactly where you need to be. And if it takes you some time to kind of acclimate to where that is, that's okay. Just be patient with yourself and remember that you're working towards something that is genuinely meant for you, and what's meant for you will never pass you by. So, hope that helps, and best of luck with this.